This is for the tackles and blocking against even fronts. We will go into out. So the first play we'll talk about is trap. So we're running trap to the right. Play side tackle. Your rule is rip to FBI. You just got to make sure this 5 technique cannot rip across your face because we are kicking the first guy on or outside the guard, which is the 3 technique. So we call out his number. You're making sure that end doesn't cross your face. We're ripping up to this backer, and we should be inside this. This guy shouldn't make the play. The Y, I think, is stepping down to try to take this guy over anyways. So that'll help out with that 5. But you're just ripping up to this backer. If he steps up, try to wash him past the play. Okay. If he steps out, then you can try to U him out. Okay. Um, but yeah, just take this linebacker where he wants to go. We just don't want him to be right in the hole. We want to try to wash him past. Okay. Or we want to try to U him out. Backside tackle, your rule is wheel and seal. You don't have an immediate B gap threat. Still step down, check for a linebacker. Okay, get hip to hip with the center, then turn back and block this end. If we run trap to the left, this tackle, so we kick out the first guy on or outside the guard. So it would be this 5 technique. We'd call it this guy's number. You're ripped to FBI. Same thing, either wash this guy past the play, okay, that way, or U him out. Take him where he wants to go. We just don't want to be sitting in the hole here. We want to move this guy out of the way, one way or the other. Okay, so you're there, backside tackle, you're wheel and seal. Now, backside tackle, you got a 3 technique in the B gap. You need to reduce your splits, get shoe to shoe with the guard, and you got to step in front of them and really try to seal this guy off. If this guy's really hard, you can make a deli call and cut him. If we're still having issues, we can make a cat call and tell the center in the huddle, hey, let's cat it. And then you block back. You say cat, cat, cat on the line. The center is now responsible for this 3 technique. You're still going to wheel and help, but once you see that guard has them, then you're going to come back and block the 5. We still have to go back and block the 5. Okay, so those are different things we can do to help with 3 technique, reduce your splits, cut them, or make a cat call so he can come back. Cat call is kind of a last resort, but we got to make sure we shore this up so this guy's not blowing up or pulling plays. Okay. So that's trap to the left. Next play, dart. So we're going to run dart to the left here. So play side tackle, your rule is gap, play side gap on backside. There's a guy in your play side gap, you block him out. Backside tackle, your rule is backside on place. Oh, sorry, no, it's not. Backside tackle, you're pulling. You're pulling up through the hole, find the first hole, and block first ugly jersey. Okay, looking inside. So against this, like a 1 and a 5 in the backside is going to be right here in the B gap where you go. Okay. Now let's just say for fun, we run dart to the right against the 3 and the 5 over here. Okay, let's go through our rules. Play side tackle, your rule is play side gap on backside. You got a guy in your play side gap, you block him. Backside tackle, you are pulling and you are blocking, finding the first hole, blocking the first ugly jersey. Now there's a 3 on that side. Okay, this guard is blocking out, so the hole is actually going to be in the A gap. This time it's going to be a little tighter here. Okay, but just find that first hole and get up in it on dart here. Okay, because it could be, sometimes it might be outside the guard, sometimes it might be inside the guard. So just find that first hole and hit it. Okay, so that's dart. Let's talk about power to the right. Okay, power. Play side tackle, your rule is gap on double. You got a guy in your gap right here. This guard has nobody in his gap, so we could tag it. You are trying to knock the 3 technique over into the guard's gap. Okay. And then you are trying to work up to the FBI. All right, but still the FBI dictates who comes off. So if the linebacker steps here, okay, then the guard has to come off and block him. Okay, what is going on here? That's weird. Huh. But the guard's got to come off and block him. I have no idea what's going on right now, guys. Hold on a sec. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, we're running power to the right. We have a tag double team here. Okay, because you have a guy in your gap and this guard does not. And we're going to that guy. The linebacker dictates who comes off. If he goes to the guard's gap, the guard's comes off. If he flows over the top, you got to come off. But if we get that guy shoved over into the guard's gap, then you can just work up. Okay. If that hip disappears, you can work up. Okay. Backside tackle, your wheel and seal because the guard is pulling on power. Okay. Now let's say we're running counter to this side. Play side tackle, your rule is gap on double. There's no one in your gap. There's a guy in the tight end's gap, so we can TED it here. Okay, this guy's on your play side shoulder. Okay, and you're working to FPI, same thing. Linebacker dictate who comes off. If he shows up in the B gap, you got to come off. If he flows over the top, it's the tight end, but this tight end is trying to throw this guy over into your gap. You are trying to base him, grab onto him, and throw him over into your gap. Okay, because the play is going outside you. We want to throw that guy away from the play. Okay. Backside tackle, once again, we got a three technique scenario on the backside where you need to reduce your splits and wheel and seal, or you need to cut them, or you need to make a cat call where the center comes back. Okay. That way we get that guy handled. Remember when you make that cat call, that's the center's guy. So when the center gets there, then you can go back for the five technique. Truck. So we're running toss to the right. Play side tackle. You are pulling, getting around the garbage. Okay, looking for first ugly jersey. Okay, if there's no one there, then look inside. All right. Once you get out there, find first ugly jersey, block them. If there's no one there, then turn inside looking for flow. Okay. Backside tackle, your rule is rip to cut off. So if there's no one in your gap, so you're just taking this path to go cut off the second level defender. Running toss to the left. Okay. Everyone, there's no puller now to toss because we're running it to the weak side. So your rule is gap on. There's a guy in your gap, you got to reach him. Okay. Backside tackle, your rule is just rip to cut off. So there's a three technique in your gap here, so you got to rip across his face and work up to the second level. Okay. Let's talk about pass protection. Okay. Man on, man away. Okay, you're blocking the five, right there. Okay, I know these linebackers were on during film, but most likely these guys will have pass protection duties here. We have to take care of the interior six. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers, 5 linemen, 1 A-back. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in the box. We need to take care of these 6. These extra 2 guys need to be taken care of by the quarterback and the receivers. Okay. So you only make, I really only want, we shouldn't be making any fan calls. Against an even front, there's no fan calls. Okay. No fan calls. Never, ever, ever. All right. We can make off calls if we know for sure that one of these linebackers is blitzing to have the A-back go there and get them. But there's never, ever, ever a fan call. We don't want to make a fan call against this. Okay. Just off calls if we have to. But we will know what these guys are going to do if they are blitzers or if they drop back into coverage, and we'll be able to game plan for that. But really, you guys are responsible for the 5 techniques. Okay. Now let's talk about 2 techniques here. So what if there are two techniques? Really doesn't change a whole lot. Okay. 2, 2. That is a tackle. So 2. Okay. Let's talk about this. So trap to the right. We are still kicking out the 2, so you are still ripping up the backer. Backside tackle on trap. So like I said, we're running trap to the right. right there. Backside tackle, you are wheeling and sealing. So against a 2, this is the center's guy, really, here. So you're gonna step down hip to hip. Okay, try to help out, but when you see the center has him, then you can block back. Okay. Now there might be some gray area here on who this guy is, if he's a 2 or a 3. So you might have to communicate with the center like, hey, you got him, I got him. So we know who's got what. Okay. If he's a 2 or a 3, but if he's a 2 technique out, that center should be blocking back, and then you're wheeling and sealing. You can still step down and help, but if you feel or see that center, you can come back and block the 5. Okay. So trap left would be the same thing. Okay. Dart against this, it's similar. So if we run dart to the left here, okay, you're blocking out on the 5, pulling up and through. It should be outside the 2 technique, but it really depends, because if this guy slants out, this 2 technique slants out, then it's going to be inside the guard. If that guy slants in, then it's going to be outside the guard. So just find that first hole. Okay. It'd be the same thing this direction. Okay. Just mirrored. You block out, find the hole. Power. So if we're running power to the right, okay, gap on double, we should be doubling this 2 technique to the backside backer. Okay, and then same thing. You can help out with the 2, but then you're coming back to the 5 because the center's blocking back on a 2. Okay, you guys should communicate who's got that guy. Okay. Uh, Counter the other way is exactly the same. So if we're running counter to the left, okay, you guys are doubling backside backer. Communicate who's got the 2, wheel and seal, help out with the nose, block back on the 5. I know, shoot, I didn't talk about kick in any of the plays. Oh no. I just realized that I didn't talk about kick. Oh my goodness, guys. Kick, it's the same thing as power on the front side. So if we run kick to the right, okay, we're doubling there. Okay, kick, you're just blocking back. Okay, on the 5. Um, okay, truck, it's the same thing for us, guys. Toss is the same thing. Pass protection is the same thing against 2 twos. Okay.